So, welcome to Hot Rod Mess. My name is Angie. Thank you for joining us on this lovely ride, and I hope you've buckled up because we have an awesome guest with us. We have brought back Mary, and Mary is here. She's Muck Hot Rodder, and she is here to discuss, as we said before, Mac. And Mac, aka Ha. And the reason why I say Ha is his name is actually H.A. So dot. Yes, dot. He was very important about saying dot. Mac was and still is I hate to say was because he still lives on in us. But Mac was and is the dearest friend of ours and holds a very special place in my heart and Mary's heart. But he was also an amazing human, and half of this stuff I didn't even know. So, Mary, what is Mac? Who is Mac? Who's Ha?
If I dare say this, is ex-wife used to say HA stood for hey asshole. Sorry, I never met her, never knew her. She was a cop too.
That's awesome. Hey asshole. Well, we actually at the shop one day we had the friend of ours was pulling into the shop and he was rear-ended. I don't know if you remember, but Mac was there that day and he was rear-ended. And when he was rear-ended, he was thrown into all of our auto sales cars that was on the front line, and the whole accident took out about 4 or 5 of our cars. And kind of crazy, and we'll tell that story another day. There was a teenage girl looking at a car 5 minutes before, and she would have been pinned, and it would have been awful. And the parents were actually, and them were still inside when it happened. They were like, oh my goodness. But when the cop asked everybody, they were getting everybody's name as they traditionally do and whatnot. He asked Mac what his name was, because technically he was a witness.
Yes, that's true.
And he goes, well, I go by Mac, but my legal name is H. Dot, and he dot A. Dot McCarthy. And he goes, okay, wise ass. What's H stand for and what's A stand for? He goes, that's my legal name. Ha! And he goes, is this guy for real? I'll never forget. I still see that cop on police scenes with me now. And he looks at me and he goes, is this guy for real? I'm like, look at his ID. It's who he is. And I was like, it's real. I was like, I don't understand what the HA stands for either. And he goes, I told you. Ha! And I was like, he's not being a wise ass. And then he went into, I used to be an officer and I would never judge somebody like that. I would never do that. I can't believe you just did that. And he started lecturing
him?
Oh yeah. And I was like, and of course, now we have paramedics there, this is there, that's there. And I'm like, Mac, shut the fuck up. We don't need bad juju. I have to work with these guys. So it's pretty funny. So I have here this incredible resume of Mac's life, and I am reading over it and just like, wow. Working with gangs and all that back in the 80s and all that. Well, I mean, think about it, in Chicago, how amazing. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't amazing for Mac, but how amazing with the history of like the gangs and all that back then. I mean, I guess you would have like Whitey Bulger and all those other guys back then. I mean, that was a big thing. So, tell me about Mac.
Where do I begin? His father was a treasury agent.
Really?
Brought up by his single parent, brought up by his father. And his father wanted him to be a G-man like he did, but he didn't want that. He wanted to work locally. He actually worked first as a deputy sheriff for the Cook County Sheriff's Department. I believe that was 74 to 77, and then he was able to apply and join the Chicago Police Department force in 1977. It's what he wanted to do, and all he wanted to do was give back to the city that raised him,
Now, what happened to his mom?
She left.
Oh, okay.
She left.
Okay, so it wasn't like she passed away. It was
No.
just okay. So roles were reversed.
Yeah, he was around 10 years old when she left.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so
Poor Mac.
yeah, but
That explains a lot of lingering questions. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He revered his father like no tomorrow. Father died in '82, I believe. So never met him. Had no family. So the police was his family. And then when he got into cars, the car family was his family. So he really loved the city, and he had so many stories to tell about it. I'm not sure what years it was, but he wanted to work in the hardest neighborhoods. He wanted to go where others wouldn't go.
That's amazing if you think about it, because not to go on like police brutality or anything, but there's so much negativity out there about police officers and everything, especially now that it's kind of, when you hear their stories of why they chose, it's always something like this, like, I want to give back. And what they're giving is essentially like almost like an ultimate sacrifice, because you just never know where they're going to end up.
Right.
And especially for him where he was. I mean,
I know. He went to work at some point. I don't know if he was a sergeant or still a patrolman, but he worked in Englewood, which was the one of the roughest neighborhoods there. And he told me a story about one day, trying to get.
And this was all in Chicago?
Oh, Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a neighborhood in Chicago, Englewood. And he obviously was trying to make inroads to show the people how much he cared for them and meant.
Time out 1 second. Vinny, no. Go.
Mute dog. So he said one day, and he had a little hard time convincing his team to work with him on this, but he said, the sidewalks were dirty and trash or whatever, so he armed them all with brooms, and he's down the street with his team sweeping and trying to clean up the street. And then some neighbor came out and said, "Why are you doing this? You don't live here." He says, "Well, I'm part of the community. I work here, I help protect you, and I take pride in where I work." And in short order, he had all the neighbors doing the same thing, sweeping the streets to give them confidence and feel good about their own neighborhood. The fact that they called him the little white guy. Because
and
he was the little white guy in the
was the
all black
guy.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it was just stories like that just made him so endearing.
I don't think Mac ever even got a tan.
He liked to fish, but beach was not his thing, Irish as they come. So.
Awesome.
So that was just one of the jobs he had. Oh, we have company.
Oh, so you're just sit down, Benny, down.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
Okay. In 1983, his career almost ended. He was in a high-speed chase. A woman was, I forget what the incident was, but it was a high-speed pursuit. And the woman stopped the car, and he stopped the cruiser, and he got out of the cruiser, but the woman backed up into him and crushed him between his own door. Backed right into the door, and his body was in between the door and the B-pillar on the car. And he hit his head on the light bar. That he coded.
Oh my goodness.
He coded at the hospital, but they were able to bring him back. It took 18 months for him to recover. He was off work for 18 months, full body cast, and then he called it the turtle shell. He had to wear that for almost a year, including leg braces, because there was so much damage.
That's awful. Did they catch her?
They caught her, but they were never able to get the charges to stick. So she was never brought to justice.
That's awful.
It was really bad.
That's awful. How can you not get charges like that to stick?
Yeah. I don't know what the circumstances. I never read the case.
It was probably something chaotic, like
or someone not doing their job properly.
Someone didn't dot the I and cross the T.
More than likely. But it changed his life forever. And they wanted to give him a medical retirement at that point. Well, he'd only been on the job six years at that point. Oh, he was still in his, in his early 30s. But he had so much more to give, and he had to convince them that while he may not be able to run down the bad guy on foot, he had so much desire, passion, and knowledge to be able to be a very productive officer, and he had to fight to keep his job because that's what he wanted to do. He could have taken the easy road out,
most
and
people
just
would.
retired. But he didn't want to do that. So there's so many jobs, as you can see from the resume, that he did that's allowed him to use his intellect, even though he wasn't able to. He recovered almost fully, though he was in pain all the time because of the body damage. And we talked about this briefly too. The International Association of Chiefs of Police, in conjunction with DuPont, created a survivors club because DuPont was the inventor of Kevlar and the Kevlar vest. Well, the Kevlar vest saved Mac's life today because it kept him together. It kept all his body together instead of completely being crushed. So he wasn't.
Wow.
He had been shot other times, 3 times as a matter of fact, and stabbed. I mean, it was just so many things, but a lot.
And he just kept going back.
Just kept going back.
Oh my
He didn't.
God.
I know. But he was the first inductee to the Survivors Club, and he had a pin, and he was number 1 of the survivors that are
That's
honored
awesome.
for their heroism and being hurt in the line of duty, that the vest saved his life.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And I'm sure it was a huge thing because back then I'm sure it was like, oh, let's try this new thing to save officers, and well, sure and shit, it worked.
Yeah, it absolutely did work.
Wow.
It did work. He got the highest accommodation from the department too, called the Blue Star. So he had a second Blue Star too. So he wore those proudly on his uniform.
That's awesome.
So that's something you do. You almost don't want to get, but they honored him with that. And when he retired in 2008, he had 151 commendations, more than any officer had at that point in any career.
Wow.
So the binders, I still have some of them. The binders were this thick with all the citations. He kept them all. So
That's incredible.
he had a lot of salad, as they called it, on his uniform.
Yeah.
That meant so much to him to be part of all that.
That's
So.
awesome.
And humble on top of it all.
He was very happy, humble guy. Like you would never really know that he was in pain and suffering, because he never let it out.
No, he hid it really well.
Yeah. Wasn't Mac at one point a big guy, like heavyweight?
Yes, he was.
He said that to me one day, and I
Yes.
said, "Bullshit." I said, "No, you weren't. I mean, you're a fit and trim guy." And he goes, "No, I was fat."
No, he was, pushing 300 pounds. That was, he was probably 250 or 270, 225 when I met him. But he definitely was he was always a big guy. He was always a big kid, but it was unfortunate per se that it was illness that made him lose the weight. With all of the issues that were all job related over time, just took a toll on his life and on his health. So it was something that's one of the reasons he moved to Cape Cod. Was, yes, I was his best friend, but also a caregiver. So able to do things that he wasn't able to do because he had no family. Yeah. So he was my family.
Yeah, Mac is our family. I love
the
them. Now, what was, so he has on his resume, I want to see here because I was very questioning about it, and I had here so he got his certifications his certifications list is incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, he had narcotics, dangerous drugs, burglary. He had bombs, arson, criminal street gangs. He had homicide. I mean, so many things that he did. It's very impressive. We have a dog in the studio, guys, just so you all know, and he's aggressively licking his dink. Will you stop? orange hair?
I just felt the urge, Mom.
No, you pissed on my Cadillac. You pissed on my Cadillac. Now you're licking your junk in the middle of an episode. Dude.
That's hot rod mess.
Hot rod mess. So, when did he, you know what's really crazy? Is that he went to St. Xavier University and my kids went to St. Francis Xavier School.
Yes. Yeah.
So I find that, I'm like, oh, I was like, he was meant to be with us.
His father went to St. Xavier High School in New York, so
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Vincent.
Yeah. I still have his father's class ring from high school because he loved that. He wore that all the time. So.
That's awesome.
But he did that later. He was already working on the department for about 15 years before he got his bachelor's degree, so he did it part-time at night.
Did?
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't... What made him...
Because he went basically right out of high school, went to work with Cook County. So he was only 21 or whatever when he became a Chicago officer, so he'd already had some experience with the sheriff's department. So,
and he didn't have to go through all the boot camp and all that stuff like they make you do now?
Well, yeah, there was a police academy.
Oh, okay, so he did go to the police...
The police academy. Hello. How are you? Nice to see you.
You're a bit much.
There we go.
You're a bit much.
Like now.
Auntie's yelling at me. I was just here for the show. No. All done. You're all done, Vincent. This is me, guys. Train wrecking the place.
Oh, well. That's alright. It's alright.
It's alright.
We're good.
I'm trying to figure out how those cookies are going to taste later. It's another story. But I mean, the United States Department of the Navy, like, what was that about?
Yeah, it was a program out of Great Lakes in Illinois where it was a 2-week training period for officers that went through naval training, nav leads they called it, and he just absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
And just the respect that the Navy gave the officers that were in this class and program, he just ate it all up, and he was an expert marksman, firearms, definitely won state awards for that.
Oh.
He actually spent a lot of time in retooling departments' procedures for deadly force, and he basically boiled down deadly force to 3 words, meaning if you can say yes to these 3 words, a shooting is justified. So it was capability, intent, and I'll come back to that. But it just simplified so easy. Of course, I can't remember now. To say those 3 words to know whether you're justified in a shooting, and he was actually doing training for the department.
That's awesome.
For that, and actually he was trying to do it on the Cape when he moved here, and talking to both Mashpee and to Yarmouth. I'll come up with those words: capability, intent. Well, there's another one. Forget what it is. But that's what it was always about, trying to do better, trying to make it better, make it easier. A cool thing that he shared with me when the show Chicago PD came on.
That's right, Chicago PD.
Chicago PD. He absolutely could relate because he was Hank Voight.
Okay.
They had a district which had been closed called the 21st District. Well, it was an abandoned building, so Chicago PD show ended up using the actual old precinct to shoot the show. And on the second floor, where Hank Voight's office is, that was Mac's office. That was his actual physical office.
No shit, that must have been so cool to see.
He worked on a skip team, so it was a little bit different, but this was something that was at the superintendent's beck and call. So whatever they needed done, off book, on book, his team did, and he did that for a number of months. And I'm still close to one of his co-workers that he worked with, that worked under Mac. But that was pretty cool, to see that, to think, all right, that used to be Mac's office.
That's
It was
awesome.
pretty neat. And
now I'm gonna have to rewatch Chicago PD so I can.
yeah, you can see,
pinpoint that.
see The Office, but that was their whole setup. So
Maybe HA stood for Hank.
maybe.
Hank. Honk.
Well, the story with the HA is that this is his story. His grandfather came over from Ireland and came in through New Orleans. Well, I guess the pronunciation of the name was O'Shea, and they had no idea how to spell that. So he said, "Oh, it sounds like HA," so that's where the name HA came from.
I mean, there's some C's and some H's in there,
No,
yes.
but the name O'Shea has like 15 letters in it. So,
oh, really?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, and there's a little that guttural sound with it too. But yeah, there was. He liked to say there's 4 letters in my name: H period A period.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
Yeah.
But that was the story of HA. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it was his grandfather's name that was changed from around. That's
it
awesome.
His grandfather's name for sure.
That is awesome. And what my other questions are, before I get into more of math, what let's see here. I had in here, went to the Navy Academy, it was public speaking. He did public speaking, or is my public speaking engagements with South Suburban Community College. It says in here, actors for screen presentations as police officers. He said, in addition, my fictional short stories have been published by Police Magazine, a national police journal, and Opus, an academic journal. I am registered as a technical resource with the state of Illinois for Film Office. What was that? Like, what did he do with that? Did he ever talk about that?
He was a screenwriter.
Wow.
He wrote 7 screenplays. So I have them in the basement. He wrote 7 movies. So
Mary, you should get someone to publish them or do them in his honor and memory of him.
He had an agent, from a Hollywood agent. He had a signed contract with a Hollywood agent, and his agent was trying to peddle the movies back whenever he wrote them. Nothing ever came of it. It was a multi-million-dollar contract.
Wow.
But I mean, he loved to write. He loved to read all the crime stories. Dennis Farina was a friend of his.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I bet you they'd be worth their weight in gold now, because going back and he knew the history, because he lived it.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you live it, you can shout it.
Yeah. So having the police experience and also the screenwriting experience, he was obviously very, very good in the role of a technical assistant or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, his friend Frank, who I mentioned before, that was part of his skip team, actually was one of the technical consultants on Chicago PD.
That's wild.
So he'd get an extra gig working the set for that. So that's pretty cool.
And he was the co-founder in here. It says, I'm the co-founder and member emeritus of the Pipes and Drums of Chicago Police Department.
Right.
And he raised, which is really awesome here, as he said, in 2002, they raised over $180,000 to place gravestones on the graves of 63 officers killed in the line of duty that didn't receive a gravestone at the time of their demise. Now that's even wild to me too. Here you are, gave your life, and you didn't get a gravestone? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Chicago, pull your shit together.
Right. And
that should be number 1.
Right. I think the earliest was 1910. So this poor officer had nothing until this team stepped up. They wanted to have a purpose, a focus when they started the pipe band. He was a side drummer. So knowing him, he just rushed right to the front of the class to say, I'm more than happy to help and make this all happen. But it was just amazing, the stories that they did. They actually rented out McCormick Place, which, if you don't know, is a huge convention hall, huge convention facility. I've been inside it. It's enormous, and they had a fundraiser there. So they got someone to donate a motorcycle. They got someone to donate a boat, and they had raffles, and that's where they raised $180,000.
That's crazy.
And then a lot of it was research. Okay, we may know who passed away, but where are they? Were they buried in paupers' graves?
Oh,
Do they
that's
have
right.
any next of kin? Because if they had a next of kin, they had to be contacted about, letting them know we want to honor them. Some had no next of kin, and they actually had to legally become their next of kin to be able to move forward with putting gravestones on their graves.
Can you, like, how heartbreaking is that? Can you imagine giving your life?
Yeah.
Like, and this is, I guess this is where I become very hot-headed or hard-headed or whatever when it comes to police officers and things like that, because in anybody in the line of duty, because you are giving your life, and at the end of the day, you're either A, just coming home in a casket in a wooden box, or B, you're just being put in the ground, and these poor gentlemen, no recognition.
Yeah.
If you don't even have a gravestone, it's like you didn't even exist.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Right. What did their life mean?
Like,
yeah.
And here they are giving their life on the line every day to ensure your safety and your well-being, and I can't even imagine that. That is wild to me that they didn't have a gravestone.
I know. So they wanted to rectify that, so they did. It was a lot of work, and they used their band as the way to do fundraising. They would do the St. Jude's parade, obviously, in the beginning of May, but they would do all kinds of events and fundraisers.
Isn't there a picture of him somewhere in a kilt playing in the band?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, yes.
Okay, because I remember seeing a picture somewhere of him in a kilt playing an instrument or something in a band or doing something in a band.
Yeah, as a drummer, and that was part of their uniform. So they had the St. Andrew's tartan as which is the police officers' tartan, as their kilt, but they wore their white, his was a white uniform shirt because he was a sergeant. And then those that were patrolmen had blue shirts, but that was their regular shirt with the stripes and pins and all of that, and they had a hat, not their usual cap, but they had something with the tartan on it, and they would do that. They would play. Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. They were actually, Mac didn't go, but they were invited by Prince Albert of Monaco to go to Monaco. So they played for Prince Albert in Monaco. I don't remember why he didn't want to go or wasn't able to go, but what an amazing experience and honor for the pipe band. They were then raising funds for them to go, but they went to Monaco. This was great. And they would go up to Montreal. I believe there was also a law enforcement parade that they would go to. They would quite often go up to Milwaukee for performances and things like that. So they traveled around.
That's awesome.
So
that is wild.
It was a tight-knit group. Yeah.
That is wild.
And it's still going on now.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have to go we'll have to go find out where they are. You'll have to tell me where they are, and maybe we can put them in a Hot Rod Mess schedule in honor of Mac.
There you go.
So what brought you and Mac together? How did you meet Mac? Was it through the Marauder Club?
It was. Yeah. It was. The first time I met Mac, actually, I don't think many of us had met each other at all. It was 2003. The company that I worked for had just been acquired, and my department had a meeting in Chicago. So because we knew Mac from a website about Mercury Marauder, and we're all just on the keyboards and starting to get to know each other, no one had really met. Called up Mac and said, "Hey, can you pick me up at the airport and bring my coworker with me into the city?" So that's the first time I met Mac. He's brought the Marauder. It wasn't the police car, but he brought the Marauder, and he was in full uniform, and kind of illegal parking. But he's doing this to you're okay, Sarge, you're good. This is O'Hare flew in, and then he just drove me my coworker into the city for the meeting. So that was the first time.
That's awesome.
And then the next time we met was the first time most of us were getting together. It was the website was owned by someone that lived outside of Dallas. So Fun Ford Weekend, an event that Ford puts on, was at Innis, Texas, just south of Dallas. So we said, why don't we just all get together, all come down to Innis, Texas and take part in the festivities. They had drive through town, they did drag racing, they did circle, parade laps, and we just created an event around ourselves. So we had a little car show for ourselves, we had a banquet or whatever, but a lot of people drove from different parts of the country. I flew in because it was too far for me to drive.
That's what you said.
To Dallas. But there's a whole group that came from Florida, they came from New York area, DC area, Chicago, San Antonio, Texas. So they all converged on Innis, Texas, and that was the first time most of us had met each other in person. Awesome. So it was just a really cool experience. And there was some. He already had the Kenny Brown car, the 1X at that point, but there was some transmission troubles with some of the cars, and that was a whole, what do we do, and how it was missing gears or whatever. And
with the Marauder or the
the Marauder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're just limping along, and so that was a whole experience with that, trying to figure out.
So what you're saying, Mary, is transmission issues with Ford has been a thing for a while, and GM. Come on, guys! It's been going on for years.
Yeah, exactly. So, So he, because Kenny Brown couldn't be down in Texas for that, he actually was representing Kenny Brown we sort of had a round table. And I mentioned before, Steve Babcock was the project manager for Ford, so he had actually come down with his wife. Steve and his wife Carol came to almost all of our events, which is great. And then Trilogy was another aftermarket. They did a Roots blower kit out of Detroit, and they came down with their 2 cars, their Trilogy 1 and Trilogy 2. I actually have Trilogy 61, so I have a supercharger on my black Marauder. But it was just friendships that, I'm still in touch with so many people.
It's so beautiful. That's what you said. You said it was just like this thing that just kept
evolving
into this beautiful car family. Yep. And I think it's amazing. And then, so what made Mac, obviously you and Mac became very close over the years. So what made Mac decide to come this way? It
really was his health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his health. It was just too much. I would fly out there or talk to him on the phone, and it was really just health related.
And he was all by himself out there at that point, right? Because he never had any kids or anything. No. So, and then you said his ex-wife was a police officer as well. Mm-hmm. Were they in the same precinct?
No, but she was homicide. So they did different things. Yeah.
That's gotta be weird. How do you go home and have dinner at night? What do you talk about?
I know. He really wanted to be a canine officer. Oh. He so wanted to be, but the part of it was that you had, where he was living with his wife at the time, you had to get your neighbor's permission, to okay the fact that you're going to have a dog and train it. And some neighbor said no, so he was just so disappointed that he couldn't.
If anything, I'd rather have a canine officer next to me than anything else. Yeah. Like, yes, you can bring it right on in. Yep, you can. Because, I
feel nice and protected and safe. Yeah.
Right. Because, you think about it, no one's going to mess with a canine dog. Yeah. You can, but it's not going to end very well. Yeah. Because they work their ass off. Yeah. And that's crazy. And permission, you would never have to, I don't think you have to ask for permission now.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was just the local requirements or whatever. He owned a computer store. He loved to tinker.
What? What?
Yes, he was an early adopter of mobile phones. So he had one of the first bag phones, Motorola, in his car. So he was like a tester for that because he actually was a contractor for Motorola. Okay. I know. So all these little things, he and another officer and the officer's husband wanted to open laundromats.
Were they laundering money?
Oh no. But they wanted.
Well, actually, I could picture him in a laundromat because he's so prim and proper. And we're talking about this Ruffy Gruff got crushed and all this guy, but Mac was a stud with his all perfectly pinned hair in place. You would have thought, if you never spoke to him, you'd be like, Totally, he doesn't know he's gay yet.
With his fedoras.
With his fedoras.
Yeah, yeah.
But Mac was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
because he was just that. And he always smelled great.
Yes.
He always smelled good. He always had a great watch.
Yeah, we loved his watches.
Always had a great
Loved
watch.
his watches, yeah.
And luckily, we've been blessed to have a couple of them.
Yeah.
So, very exciting. But yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
And so
that never got off the ground, but you know, he did just a sense of adventure.
And how was his Motorola experience?
Fairly short-lived, you know, he just doing so much. He was into firearms sales and whatnot, just like a side hustle, I guess, all the time. You know,
He was a hustler.
Yeah, he was a hustler.
Mac was a hustler.
He was a hustler.
I picture that him being a hustler, 100%. So when he got here, I mean, how was he here? Was when he got here? I mean, this from going from all of that to Cape Cod, that's like turning off the lights.
Yeah,
literally, it's like hitting the light switch.
Well, when you grow up in the city, and it's like you're on the south side, but still, there's the noise, the traffic. He lived in a condo 3 stories up, but also there was no elevator, so it was harder for him in doing his shopping as his health was, you know, becoming compromised to try to manage that. So
and his health issues were mainly because of when he was crushed.
He's the accidents, everything, you know, multiple times. There was another time that his car rolled over on the highway of another high-speed chase, and there was another officer with him, and then because the other officer stepped on him to get out of the car. There's stories like that. But you know, you get beat up. You really get beat up. You know, it's your body at some point says, "I can't take it anymore." You know, so
it's like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Of Mac.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll change HA to Hulk.
But life on Cape Cod, I mean, it was definitely slowed. He retired in 2008, and he moved here in 2012. So there was definitely time that he had, but there was something, not a virus, something that put him in a hospital for a whole month, and that's when he lost a lot of the weight because of this. I don't know if it was a fungal infection or something like that.
That's awful.
It was I don't know what it was, but it really took a toll on him. But he loved, at that point after he retired, he'd already sold the Marauders that he had. He got into Shelby's, and he got really heavy and deep into the Shelby's, and he got into the Shelby American, Shelby web form, you know, car form, like he'd like the Mercury Marauder, net part of that. So he became ingrained in that and would take road trips. One of the members was from San Diego, and he would think of nothing, just driving down to San Diego, going up to LA, and then out to Vegas to Shelby American just to hang out or whatever. What was really cool was, I guess he hung out with the right group because Carroll Shelby himself invited Mac to Texas, to his ranch in Texas, Terlingua, Texas, and awesome. Very exclusive invitation. They weren't drag racing. They're basically just riding the roads of this little remote area right on the Rio, and having dinner with Carroll Shelby. And somewhere I must, if I can find it, I'll let you. I'll give it to you. The picture of Carroll Shelby sitting in his passenger seat signing his.
So when we had this conversation last, it dawned on me. William and I were at a trade show once, going way back, probably in 2000, maybe it was 2007, 2008, because I don't think we had Ellie yet. And we would always drive to the big show, which is the Keystone Big Show. And when we drove to the show, you'd go around and you talk to everybody, but they always had people there, almost like a SEMA thing. They would have, like, Edelbrock would come in, and then you'd have Carroll Shelby one time come in. I have a Ziggy shirt signed by Edelbrock and Carroll Shelby.
You don't?
I do. And it didn't even dawn on me because I always think of it as Edelbrock because Edelbrock wrote his name so big across the Z, but it's in the yellow part of the Z. So I'll have to get it. And I know we've moved and everything, but I also have my Edelbrock hat that he signed as
Right.
well. And then I have Chip Foose's signature on a couple shirts as well. So when everybody's like, oh, where's your Yellow Ziggy shirt? Sorry, they're all signed by people. No one's allowed to wear that. So I actually, when we were moving to this house, I said, oh, you know what? I should preserve that.
Yeah.
And put it in a case.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that look great in
Oh.
the shop or in the new garage? Or
Oh, it'd be awesome. So I have to find the shirts because I know I put them somewhere where they wouldn't get ruined.
Something special and a special hiding place
Yeah,
somewhere.
so I'll find them somewhere, but and I'll show them to you. But it's really cool.
That's so cool.
Because I also have I have Carol Shelby's as well. And I thought about that. I remembered it right after we did that last episode with the Kenny Brown performance.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that he had played a poker game with Carol Shelby.
Like played poker with Carol Shelby.
But what an amazing life. I mean, I know that his life was taken way too quickly, way too short. But just in that span, he had an amazing life.
He lived it to the fullest.
Like,
As
all
long
the
as
time.
he could. As long as he could. He loved you guys.
Oh, I love him.
You know that.
Loved him. Mac was definitely very, very close to our heart. And I know that right before he passed, he wanted to sit and meet with us, but god awful Ziggies. I say that, but I wouldn't be able to be in this world without it. Didn't give us. We didn't even get the time with him, and it sucks because I really want to know what did he have to say, because Mac always had something to say, and I'll never know, and that's just it. Sucks.
No.
But he was just so amazing, and then to hear all these stories, and then to read his resume, I'm like, holy shit, Batman! Like,
I got something to add too. I had a seance at my house a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, ooh, I'm intrigued.
And Mac couldn't wait to come. The medium said this as she's trying to describe. All right, this man has been at me all day. He said he just couldn't wait to come. He could just like hurry up and get there because I want to speak.
Oh, that's Mac.
Yes, and she kept describing, and whenever she talked about shining shoes and a uniform and polishing cars, it's Mac.
Yeah.
It had to be Mac.
Oh,
so
did he ever come through? While you were there?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Yes. So we'll need to do a seance, and you can ask him.
Yes, I will.
See if he'll come through and he'll say, "What were you going to tell me?"
Yeah.
I truly believe in all that. It was just
I do
amazing
too.
having had, seances or readings before. Family members have come.
So I've never really been in a true good seance. It's always gone very dark and very morbid, like very quickly, and I don't like negative energy into my bubble.
Yeah. And
like when I get in touch with my inner chakra or whatever, my root, when I plant my root, is for me it's a beautiful orange hibiscus that's beaming bright light.
Oh.
And it has a bottom. The bottom of it is bright greens, and that's the leaves. So I don't allow, if it's dark and morbid, I actually don't allow it in. And actually, it's kind of funny because I wanted to go to one that somebody in our family was doing. But the energy that I got from it in the conversation, because I actually believe in like letting spirits and ghosts and all that stuff into you, like, and the energy just in the conversation that I was getting, it made me so uneasy, and I actually became very, like, I lost a whole shade of color on the inside, and I was like, oh, I can't be part of that. I can't go to that one. No, that's going in the dark. I can't do it. But it's weird because my grandmother, when all of the stuff, you're so pathetic, Vincent. When everything went down with my father in 2020, I couldn't let anybody, I couldn't let anybody in.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that guy over there, Mr. Vincent, he, for some reason, gives me this positive energy all the time. Like, since I got him, and since I got him, I've been able to evaluate and to let people in. And I don't know if it's just because he just has that happy-go-lucky energy and he's just so awesome, or it was just I felt more at peace that I had a protection with me to let it in.
Right.
Because he would never let anything happen to me.
Right, absolutely not.
Like never.
He is absolutely your guardian.
Yeah, he's
for sure.
he's my ride or die. So I don't know if it's that or what, but it would be wild to be able to get in. But you have, I feel like you really truly have to be with the right group of people.
Yeah.
Or you get, because I don't, like, I have a lot of negativity of spirits that have actually recently tried it and come in. And I've just closed the door.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me if I can just shut the door on you and let my light just shut you out, it means that I'm definitely at peace with myself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, but I am.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy though. It is really crazy. And it's, that would be so awesome. I'd love to talk to him.
But the fact that he just kept, I went to Cumberland Farms. He said, come on, get going, you know.
Just that's
so,
him.
Yeah.
That's totally him.
He just couldn't wait to come.
Oh.
Couldn't wait to come.
So the person that you had must have been a good vibe person.
Yeah.
Because I can never imagine Mac clinging on to somebody who's good, who doesn't have positive
right,
vibes.
Exactly. You know.
So that says a lot for that.
I've been listening to a lot of Teresa Caputo lately. Listened to her podcast after seeing some of the shows, and it's just amazing.
It is amazing.
It's just there is another world that's connected. It's right here.
It's here.
He's here in the room.
Yeah, it's energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all the energy.
Yeah, it's just so cool.
I've had like I said, I've only really had like recently I've had like my grandmother has come in and she's told me in my like I have more connections like when I'm sleeping, and my grandmother has come in and has like she has walked over and said, just shut the door, don't let them in, it's okay. We don't want them. Us over here, we don't want them. And I can actually see other people that were positive vibes in my life. But I can't make out who they are. But I want to know who they are. But I can very, very distinctly know that it's my grandmother. Like I can even feel like her touch. She would always sit on a stool next to me, peeling like a peach or an apple or whatever. She never ate the skin off them, which is weird. And she, with her little knife, I still have the knife upstairs, and she would peel. And then when she would be done peeling, she would cut, Angeline, here. And I would sit there, and she would be like up high, like this high, and she would just hand me the peach or hand me whatever, and I would eat it. But then I'd always get the, like, oops, shit, sorry, Vinny. Knocking over the penises. No, they're toe hooks, guys. They're not really penises. But they look like penises. And she would always like tap me on my shoulder. So when she's there with me,
gosh.
I can smell fresh fruit. I can vividly see her, and she's always like on my shoulder almost, but not because I know and that's just how she always was with me. And I can feel her touch. Or like sometimes when you walked into her house, you always smelled garlic, because she would grow garlic, and then she would string it up so it would dry out, and then she'd kind of like crush it. Awesome. And she'd do the same thing with peppers. So you always smell something. And she'd make like Mavila tea. So it was this herb. I don't exactly know what the herb is. Shame on me, I never got it. But it was called Mavila. And it was a tea that you boiled it, and it was really sweet. It wasn't tart. And then you would strain it out, but you'd pour it over a strainer, and then you would just put a tiny little bit of sugar if you wanted, or a little bit of honey, and that's it. You just drink it. And it was amazing every time you were sick.
Aww.
And when I was sick, she would actually boil it and stick my head with a towel over my head in the sink.
To get the vapors in.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I wish you could know, but you would go like she had the garden, and she grew basil and everything. She'd dry it all out. So you always had that aroma going on wherever she was. It was awesome.
They all used to cook. You know,
Oh,
just like it's a lost art,
oh.
Unfortunately.
Mary, you would have loved my grandmother.
Oh,
you would have learned some things from her. Did you know? Not to get off subject, but did you know that pizza dough is actually not thin? It's like a thick bread.
Like focaccia.
Like a focaccia.
Yep.
But that's how they make the dough. My grandmother used to make pizza every Friday, almost every Friday. And when you go over there, it was always in this beautiful pan and everything, and it was thick, like
Yeah.
an inch and a half thick,
Yeah.
and it would have
Sicilian
everything in it.
style.
So good. And then
Yeah.
remember when we went to Italy?
Yes.
The pizza was thick like my grandmother's.
Yes, exactly.
It was amazing. It was great. But Mac, man, I would love to get in contact with him. Oh, I'd love it. It would just
We'll
be.
have to work on that.
We'll have to work on
We'll
it.
have to get something scheduled.
My husband will never go to one.
I
He
know
said,
you.
I don't want to know.
Oh.
I don't want to know the future. And I'm like, well, they're not fortune tellers.
No, it's not the future.
I'm like, it's not the future. They just,
No.
that's it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know.
Well, someone may come through. He just doesn't have to be there, and they can speak to you. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
His
awesome.
father. You know.
Oh,
my
so
God.
beautiful.
He wouldn't be able to
No.
hold up. Oh.
So Mac's journey, like he really just loved everything because it doesn't seem like there was one set thing that Mac was only passionate about. It sounds like he was passionate about everything
Yeah,
that he
absolutely.
touched.
Yeah, and cars were such a huge part of it. I mean, he owned 2 Legends cars. And he
Really?
used to race those. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was that into it and, had rented a garage at the track and had duplicate tools and could work on the cars there and had a friend that was helping him with the cars.
That's
So
wild.
it's just like, there was no limits to what he could do or wanted to do. He just did it.
He just did
He
it.
just did it.
I mean, that's an art right there because a lot of people are very narrow-minded and it's my passion is finance, so I only stay with finance, or my passion is police, so I only know police,
Right.
or whatever it is. It's to be that diverse
Yeah.
and have going from being shot at, crushed to I'm gonna go race a car. Like,
Exactly.
what?
Not even a daredevil in that sense of it, but just a sense of adventure.
Right.
In 2015, he always wanted to go to Scotland, so we took a 2-week trip. Actually, he joined another band when he was here on the Cape, the Brian Baru pipe band, and he drummed with them for a while before he couldn't really hold the drum and walk at the same time. But we'd already booked a trip to go with him to the Rose of Tralee parade in Tralee, Kerry, but he wasn't able to partake in the parade. So I said, well, we got the tickets, let's just go.
Yeah.
And I created a trip for us that we stayed, we flew into Shannon and then went down to Kerry and stayed there a little bit and then down through Cork, and my grandfather's family's from just outside Killarney, so we did a little hunting around for gravestones and things like that. And we went to Cork and then flew over to Scotland, and it was at the time in August of that year, they call it the Fringe Festival, which is when the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo performances at Edinburgh Castle happened. And I got us like the best seats in the house, and we had a tasting dinner ahead of time. Yeah, but he said it was the best day of his life.
That's
because
amazing.
he got Top Secret is a world-renowned Swiss drum drum corps.
Okay.
But they're phenomenal, and they perform, and they have their black uniforms on, their black hat with their white plumes on it, but they're precision drummers, and it's amazing their performances. Well, Top Secret came to the dinner.
Oh.
He was like, oh my God, he's melting in the seat. So he got to talk to them.
Oh,
Because
that's
he's a side
beautiful.
drummer too. They do side drums. They have some bass drums too. But he was just like, we had a little bit of food, a little bit of whiskey, a little bit more food, a little bit more whiskey. I mean, tasting menu, it was so much fun.
Oh.
And then we were escorted to the, because of the seats we had, when we went into the castle, the restaurant was right near that. Basically they built onto Edinburgh Castle, it looks like a horseshoe-shaped football stadium. So they have all these stands built just for these 3 weeks of performance, and that was the whole idea. I'm sure they use it for other things besides. But, and of course he's in his police kilt. So he's wearing his police uniform with the kilt. And
That's
people are
awesome.
stopping him to take pictures, because not a lot of guys wearing kilts on the streets other than a performer.
Yeah.
So someone, can I have a picture taken with you?
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
I know,
He must have ate it up.
He just ate it up. So when we got in, he was absolutely acknowledged, for his police work, and someone, I don't know who it was specifically, but gave him a challenge coin, which was just so amazing, and I still have it somewhere. But we were escorted to our seats, and it was a red carpet, and then they were doing the introductions, and then all of a sudden they announced the commander of the tattoo, and we turn around and the spotlight's up. He's sitting right there.
Oh, wow.
So we couldn't be any more perfectly centered.
Wow, that's awesome.
My pictures were so amazing that night because I had my good camera with me, and it was just a thrill. And this is performers from all over the world that come to Edinburgh just to do this performance. So the U.S. Air Force was there representing the U.S. and the top secret for Switzerland, and just all different, whether awesome. they're doing dancing or musicians or drum and bugle type of thing. It was just an amazing experience.
What a beautiful way to
made his best day of his life. He said that to me without provocation.
That's awesome.
So good to share that with him.
You guys are so inspirational, both of you, because I'm sitting here going, I want to go here, I want to go there, I would love to see this, I'd love to see that. Oh, I don't know how to do this, and I'm like moaning and groaning about how I don't know how to do something, and here you're like, fuck it, let's just plan it.
Pretty much. And then we
I'm slowly getting to fuck it, Mary.
Good. Then we just rented a car after 3 or 4 nights in Edinburgh, and went to Aberdeen, and then went up to Inverness, across the country, and just stopping at distilleries and just the beautiful countryside, and then stayed in Inverness for a bit, and went down to Loch Ness and then Loch Lomond, and just worked our way back down to
How long were you there
Glasgow.
for?
It was 2 weeks altogether.
That's
and
awesome.
then we flew from Glasgow back to Shannon to pick up our connecting trip back with the rest of the band members after they had their time. And,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was just a great trip. And
That's
he had never
beautiful.
been out of the country before.
Really?
No.
Do you know what's crazy is a lot of people have never been out of the country before.
Yeah, that was his first trip out of the country, so we had to get his passport and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great to experience that with him. So,
Oh.
and I had been to Scotland before, and I'd been to Ireland a couple of times before, but it was still a lot of new.
I want to go to Ireland so bad. Like I want to see all the castles. Like, so when I was a little girl, I used to always say, I'm gonna get married in a castle in Ireland. Well, I want you to know I did not get married in a castle in Ireland.
No. We can recreate it. Let's see, your 10th anniversary is coming up.
It
this
is.
year.
It is. Let's see, Mary. But I need to go to Italy. I need to go back. I want to go to my bucket list is Ireland. My bucket list is Ireland. I want to go back to Italy with my husband. I want to actually find my family.
Absolutely.
Heritage.
Gotta fine tune that family tree we started.
Oh, we have to. And then I want to do Santorini. I want to go through all the Greek islands. I want to do all of it. I want to go to see Big Ben.
Yes, in London.
I want to do all of it. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
And I really, really, really want to go over there for Christmas.
Oh.
Because fuck.
Christmas markets in Germany are supposed to be some of the best.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
in Austria too.
I think it's in Austria is where they say
Vienna,
maybe it is in Vienna, but it's supposed to be like the number one place for Christmas.
Oh.
When there are beautiful, like everything is Christmas. And that's all I just want to be in an enchanted place for fucking Christmas. And I mark my words, when my kids get like older, there's a possibility that they won't see me for Christmas. Because I'm going to go over and I want to see it. And I'm told that it starts the day after Thanksgiving, like a Thanksgiving era. Like literally they start setting up in the beginning of November. And then it goes all the way, they're finally like up and going, like right after the Thanksgiving holidays over here. I don't know what it is over there. They don't do Thanksgiving, but there's some other holiday that is in, I think it's near November, whatever, it's a memorial something. from what I was reading, and I could be in the wrong country too.
Yeah,
I could be in a
yeah.
different. I think Finland might be in Finland.
Oh.
But totally
Haven't been to
different.
Finland yet.
But in Finland was the other one that had a good Christmas stuff. By the way.
Nice.
That was the other one. So that's where I want to go. I want to go see. I want to check off my bucket list all of them, and I want to go visit all of them.
Nice.
And I want to go to Iceland, and I want to go to Greenland because they're opposites. One's green and one's actually ice.
Right, it's the opposite.
Opposite.
Right? So you did that on purpose.
And I want to go to Switzerland. Mark my words, if anything ever happens to my husband, God forbid, that's where I'm going. And my kids are older, I'm overseas.
Yeah.
I won't see anybody for a few months.
Yep. I'll come visit.
You want to see me? You come visit. I just want to essentially backpack Europe.
I never did that. Never did
He's
that.
so fucking awesome.
I know.
Awesome. Like, oh, that's all right. If anything ever happens, Mary, and you get a phone call, it's time to backpack.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
We're on it. I'm on it.
You know what happened, and that's where we have to go.
Count on it.
Get your passport. We're backpacking, Mary. Now you know what happened. You're like, fuck. Funeral and backpack? Damn.
She moves quick.
She moves quick. So, but what? What's the matter?
Did we wake you up?
Did you wake you up because I was being loud? Oh, you poor thing. Oh, stretch it out.
There you go.
So I am beyond happy that I got to do this about Mac,
This is great.
and that it is going all over socials. But I think we've been at this for over an hour
Has it
actually, and I'm actually gonna.
Time stands still when we're talking about.
I know, because he's awesome. But
I miss him terribly.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I think you were like his soul person. To be like honest, like I think that you were meant to be his person.
I believe so.
Because
I felt that.
you guys were just amazing together all the time.
So
You would never know that you guys were married, to be honest.
Right.
As an outsider, like, I was like, I'm sorry, what? You're not married? Dating anything? Come on. Just a little bit of toast. Nothing. No. Damn it. Yeah. Because you guys literally were and still he lives through you all the
We were in
time.
sync all the time.
All the time.
He could be his asshole, but
yeah. I'm actually pretty sure that I heard you say a couple times, well, you're just being an asshole. I think I heard you say that once or twice.
Yeah.
And but he could be an asshole, 100%. But can't they all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And the fact that he loved hanging out with you guys. I mean, the fact that he picked up a broom and was just just loved hanging out. And
Not only in the shop.
We need to sweep the shop, and it's like
he was part of our life.
I know.
Like every moment of our life. I mean, holidays. He was at birthdays. He always remembered, like, paid attention to William's words, little William's words.
Absolutely, because he was so
everything.
young then.
Yeah.
You know.
I actually recently posted up on TikTok or something. Remember the police? Remember when little William was into like being a police officer, and Mac got him that hard hat. It looked like it was a police hat. But It was like hard plastic and it said police on it. And Mac got it for him. And then William was in his onesie with his guitar with his police hat on for Mac. Just I love my mom. Just jamming out. And I'm like, oh my god. He had to be like 4 or 5 maybe. He was little. He was little.
Yeah.
It was great though. Oh, Mac was beautiful. He was just such a beautiful human.
It was.
Human of just so many things.
Touched a lot of lives and left an impression, an indelible impression for sure.
100%. And the more and more I learn about him, I'm just blown away. Like he was never pompous. He was never look what I did, ta ta ta. You would never know that he was not a hothead. Like he was in some manners a hothead, but that's just typical guy ego bullshit. But all in all, he was never a hothead. Like, I didn't even know until he happened to be having a conversation with a person out front at the shop he worked for Boston PD, and he had to have his whole arm redone and pinned and whatnot because he had gotten hurt in the line of duty, and they were out front talking about it, and that's when I found out that he was a police officer. And I was like, dude, you've been hanging out here for like a fucking month and everything. You never even goes, it's not what I do anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I used to do that. And I'm like, what the fuck? But like the film and all that, I never knew anything about that. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. Oh, what an amazing human. I love him.
Really was.
I love him.
Yeah.
So with that, Mary, I am going to wrap it up. And this is actually coming out in 2 parts. So just so you guys all know. Because I want everybody to be able to listen and really zone in and pick up what Mac was about and who Mac was. Or, huh. Huh. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much, Mary, for coming back on the show.
Love to be here once again, Angie.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this wonderful stuff about Mac. It's literally like we got to get in a seance or something so that
we have to.
Like we have to do.
We got to work on that
so I can yap with him.
Yeah.
Like I got some yapping to do, Mac. Maybe I'll see if I can like zone in and get him to trail in with me.
There you go.
Maybe I'll see if I can. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But with that, thank you so much, and I love you. I love you
too,
so much, and I'm so glad. And we got to do this with Vinny. Look at that. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Mac's beautiful journey into the car world and hearing it from our exclusive Mary, because I love her. And thank you so much for sharing everything with us, Mary. It's been a delight. I just want you guys all to know that Mac will always be remembered and never forgotten, and he is a badass individual. And hopefully at some point, I keep hitting the mic, my son's going to kill me. Hopefully at some point, I will channel in with my chakra and everything and pull him into my energy in my world, and him and I can have a conversation because, as I said, I need to know. But I'll tell you guys about that if I ever get to link in with Mac in the extra world. But thank you, everybody, again. My name is Angie. I am the Hot Rod Mess Diva, and I will tell you, you can find me and everything about me and how to contact me at hotrodmess.com, or you can email me directly through hotrodmess.com, and it is me. You will get me. I'm the one who's there. And you can also reach me directly at hotrodmess@gmail.com. I answer any and all questions. I am not ashamed or afraid. Anything you have to say or you want to know, or you have a badass car that you want to share, please share it. I love to hear everybody's stories. We will be at Syracuse Nationals this upcoming weekend. So bear with us because that is going to be a fun, long journey. We're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff there with family and everything. So you want to find that at patreon.com because all that stuff will be exclusively over at Patreon. So again, thank you so much. My name is Angie, the Hot Rod Mess Diva herself. Peace out.